meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer for Richard Newell. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I would just like to make a mention that Richard Dick, as a lot of us knew him, Newell, was a great man and such an asset to our community. Dick served on numerous committees over the many years for the town of Lake Pleasant and will always be remembered for his lead in the Lions Club Seaplane Fly-In, as well as his dedicated member of the Adirondack Veterans here in Lake Pleasant. Dick will be deeply missed.
Indeed.
Okay, so next, I'd like to go on to the approval of the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to read over the minutes from the December 21st?
Christine sent me some notes today on some corrections that she noticed through my minutes, and I apologize. I don't know, these minutes were kind of difficult for me to do, and I can't tell you why. But I spelt the word, I used the word sub-pump instead of sump pump. So
I saw a couple of misspellings.
if you want to check, do that. And Parslow, I spelt his name wrong when it came to the actual resolution. Unfortunately, it doesn't do spell check when you do capitals and bold. And also the agreement between the Lake Pleasant seniors, I had made it in parentheses saying that Christine Meister feels it should read the Senior Citizens Meal Site Contract for 2021 to distinguish it from the Senior Citizens Bus Contract. That's the changes I made.
Resolution 121, the library, there were a couple of spellings.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That spell check doesn't work on it, so. Okay, I will definitely change that.
Anything else?
I just saw two, but I think you got them both right.
I have a question. I thought that the motion that Nancy made for last meeting at Parcel Plumbing was going to include retroactive approval for Nancy to call them in, and then not have resolution reads in the minutes. So am I mistaken, or I thought the board agreed to do that retroactively?
You did.
We did? Because I don't remember that. I didn't think
No.
so. I remember
It was in the discussion.
It was in the
It was in the discussion.
Yes. Didn't we
I-
say about the procurement policy that it's okay to purchase the
I was going to mention
part?
that.
Yes.
Okay.
So due to that,
So-
we wouldn't have to make it retroactive.
Because of the amount.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
I missed that. That's true. Chris, I didn't know which one came first in that discussion. We would not have to have made that retroactive thing, which I was fine to do. Once Nancy or Don or somebody pointed out that that it was within the confines of the procurement.
I remember we talked about both things, but
Yeah, we did.
I was under the wrong impression about what the motion was, I guess.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, so is there any other further discussion? Chris, there's like a white curtain coming over your face. There, it's on.
A piece of paper.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm looking for a motion then to accept the minutes. I'll go with the corrections. And a second? I'll second.
Was that Neil that did the first? Everybody, is Neil the first and Nancy the second? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm looking, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Okay, Chris is opposed, okay.
No, I'm not opposed.
Oh. There was a little hesitation with aye, so I thought you were in the nay. Okay, okay. So next is public comment. Do we have anyone in here for public comment? Do we have guests?
Their microphones are blocked out. Yeah, they couldn't speak if they had to.
Okay.
They can though. They open it up. Well, both the microphones I see have little red lines through them. Yep.
Okay, so, Mark, did you want to speak?
Betsy, no. I just listen. Okay.
Okay, so then we will go ahead and move on to highway, Randy.
Hello all. Trails are open. I'll start with the trails part of this. We had some people up here riding the roads as far as Perkins Cleared and so on. The lakes are very much so not safe. And we've had some people out there and playing in the slush and so on and so forth. I'm just reiterating that the town trails, the state trails, all the trails do not go across the lakes. Right at your own beware there. It doesn't seem like it's going to freeze up anytime soon because we're going to be in the 30s, sometimes high 30s all week. So there's not going to be a lot of ice making going on. But that being said, all the groomers are all set to go if we get definitely not enough snow out there to groom the trails. We went out. Just gonna ask that. We went out with one groomer today to cut some trees out of the trails up in Perkins Square that people were complaining about, and it was brown snert behind it. So it's definitely not enough snow out there today. So we're gonna patiently wait for some more snow. That being said, there's not enough snow to make bumps either. So that's the plus side of it. The trucks made it through all the storms perfectly. We didn't have hardly any breakdowns, knock on wood. So that worked out well. The buildings are all doing well. Floors are done at the health center, which I'm sure Betsy will talk about later, but they look very nice. New mechanic is now off of probation. So he's doing very well, actually better than expected, to grasp onto our niche work that we have.
And the garage is impeccable.
Yes, it is. It's definitely improving a lot. Every day, all the guys are doing their part to clean it up and keep it clean.
Yeah.
So. Wow, when you said that, Debbie. What I'm saying. Yeah, you're usually fun. See, nothing but dirt back there. On a really, 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 really good note, we ended the year with a very big plus. Betsy already knows about this, and I'm sure Nancy probably knows about it also, but our CHIPS money came in, which, we all knew we were getting 20% less, but we have that money less back now. And every penny of the documented work that we did for FEMA has all now been put in our account. Okay.
Congratulations.
So
Congratulations to you and Betsy for working on that together.
Yep. Everything that we submitted so far is in our account before the first of the year. It was December 31st or 30th, but it was before the end of the year.
Randy,
Yes.
we did get all our CHIPS money, or was there 20% withheld?
No, there's 20% withheld.
Okay.
Yep. The state kept their promise of keeping 20%. So, which, so be it. I wish we could have got it, but we knew this was coming once the governor said it, so, they held back 20%. So the FEMA money that I was been referred to was just shy of $250,000, just so that we know what monies that we were looking at, and which gives us a surplus for what we spent into it to move up forward with. That being said, that's all I have.
So I just want to say, and I know I'm going to sound like a recording here, I said it at the last meeting, we all really have to be appreciative for Randy. He really he didn't give up. He just kept pushing and pushing. Every time they were asking for the same information, he would sit down and take care of it and do it. He didn't give up. He'd be on the phone. He really was persistent, and it really paid off. And Randy, I got to say thank you, really. You did a great job with that. A lot of towns gave up, but Randy did.
Great, Randy.
Thank you.
Do you think that maybe that's by design? That
Yes.
Some towns and cities would.
We know that's by design.
Yes.
There is no doubt in my mind after going through this process, which I still have 4 more projects to go in the same storm, but it's definitely by design.
How are they treating Tracy?
I don't know the aspects of it. I know they're still bouncing around with numbers and papers and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
they got some big dollars there too.
Oh, they got some really big dollars. So, Gilmantown Road. Yeah.
We have our meeting Thursday. We'll find out.
Right. And speaking of Gilmantown Road, in that last rainstorm, we did lose, have some damages down there, but we were able to fix it that following Monday. So everything, until spring shows its ugly head, everything seems good now.
Is there any more, not to change the subject, but before we move on, is there any more info on the snowmobile money?
The info I received today, about an hour ago, was hopefully we will have our vouchers by the end of this week. But they believe the vouchers are going to be 10% under because of the registrations.
Yes, they're dependent on registration.
Yeah, so the registrations went down last year, so they're saying that this money is going down. What they didn't mention was any kind of 20% cut. So the 10% is because the registrations went down, but not the 20%. That 20% that across the board that the governor put in, like the chips, they haven't mentioned that. So
Yeah, well, they should, because this is dedicated money.
correct.
I agree, Don.
Right. So that's a good part of that story. But I spoke to NYSA today and I spoke to Parks today. And Parks got back to me tonight via email saying that they expect the vouchers to be out this week. So that's all I have.
Okay, so then we'll go ahead on.
Good start, Randy.
Yep.
So we'll go on to old business. The spare RO system, as you saw in today's bills, has been ordered. The total was $37.35, and it should be here within 3 weeks. So we'll have a spare on the shelf if needed. Neil and I are going to be working on the RO system informational letter kind of thing that we want to get set up, and then what we will do is we will send it out to you guys because we want your input, and we'll make changes or whatever needs to be done. Maybe Neil, if you could give me a call this week and we can set up a time that's good for you.
I will stop by tomorrow with some initial thoughts on that, Betsy. I've got some of them written down here, but one of the things that, as we share it then with the rest of the board, I will have tomorrow an email out to Bill Devendorf for any things that he would put down on paper. He was not too specific in his first email after our meeting. And I appreciate that. But one of the things that I'm going to need, I don't know if I had one and I misplaced it, but I can't find it in my electronic files, is the copy of the consent order. When the board, when we discuss this together or, via email for suggestions on what could be listed in this letter. In other words, just, to name a few. the town will continue to be responsible for salt and for the RO system itself and for pumps for the water softeners, etc. And then other things that maybe we would not be in there. Quite important that we're all better, including especially me, knowing the absolute delineation of these things in the consent order. Obviously, if there's any pushback from the taxpayers, it will be right from that. Again, I'll make this plain in an email, but we'll see you tomorrow and we can try to find the common ground on what line we make in that sand.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay. So then, next we're going to move on to new business. The resolution to change the method and form of payment for our medical insurance buyout. First, I'll just give you a quick explanation and then I'll read it for those guests that are on because they didn't get a copy. This year we were having so many issues with, we have 3 people with the buyouts calling, complaining because they were missing money in their pay. We made a mistake, and what they just didn't take into consideration is that they pay tax on it, and the taxes are taken out of it. So we decided to get away from this. We had already moved one person over by voucher at the last meeting, so we decided to make everybody by voucher at the end of the year. They're responsible for paying their own taxes in. They'll get a 1099, and we're going to do a voucher form for everybody from now on. It's just the easy way out. So the resolution reads, resolved that as of 2021, the employees receiving the health insurance buyout will have to submit a voucher to the town board. The payment to the employee will be made at the final bill pay of the year. The town employee will be responsible for withholding taxes. So it's adopted by the following. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move. I'll second.
Okay, Don seconds. Any discussion?
Are you planning on notifying those people that they have to submit that voucher?
I believe we already have.
Okay.
Correct, Debbie? They already know it's going to voucher form for next year?
I know that I spoke to one person. I don't know about the other 2, which are the highway departments. That they're all your men, Randy.
Okay.
We have to, in the past, they've had to fill out that form.
Yeah, the waiver.
Right, sign that they have other insurance, so perhaps at that time a voucher could be given to them along with that form.
Okay. We just did that not too long ago, Nancy. So give me is that something you want me to do in November or?
Well, it would have to be sometime either at the end of November, beginning of December.
Okay. I'll just make a note of it.
Okay. If it's going to be the last bill pay of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we do anything in writing with a signature from them so they know that they will be responsible for the taxes, just so we don't have major complaints at the end of the year?
Well, I'll attach a copy of the resolution with the voucher and the waiver. Or maybe they'll even read the minutes and they'll see it then.
The resolution, of course, is pertinent to the handbook, right?
Correct. This is a correction.
All the resolutions that we do that changes anything when the employee gets a copy put into the handbook. And then a copy goes out to all the employees also.
Okay, so all in favor of this?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along, we will now start with our organizational appointments and resolutions. Chris, I'll try to move slow because I know you're going to want to write it all down, and if you don't get it, I can send it to you in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. So, first we're going to do the Deputy Supervisor Neil McGovern is named as the voting delegate at the annual business meeting of the Association of Towns of the State of New York, being held on February 5th. Deb, did you want to read that?
Unfortunately, I do have to read it. It's
Yes.
Okay, so it says, I, Deborah O'Rourke, Town Clerk of the Town of Lake Pleasant in the County of Hamilton and State of New York, do hereby certify that the Town Board of the aforesaid town has duly designated the following named person to attend the annual business session of the Association of Towns of the State of New York to be held during President's Week, February 2021, virtually, and to cast the vote for the town pursuant to Section 6 of Article 3 of the Constitution and bylaws of said association. Name of voting delegate, Neil McGovern. Title, councilman. Email. Neil, I have nmcgovern@frontier.com. Is that still what I can use? Okay. I don't know whether I have to have that so that they can send you some information. I don't know. So which email did you want me to use?
And McGovern, N McGovern, 3811
Okay, I'll change that.
at gmail.com.
Yep. Address 2868 State Route 30, Speculator, New York 12164, PO Box 465. In the absence of this,
Correct.
is that okay? In the absence of the person so designated, the following named person has been designated to cast the vote of said town. Name of alternate, Betsy Bain. Title, supervisor. Email, supervisor@lakepleasantny.org. Address 2098 State Route 8, Lake Pleasant, New York 12108. In witness whereof I have hereon sent my hand and seal of said town. So I will make that change for Neil's email, and then I will send this on to the associations of towns. And Neil, the dues is being paid. So you can vote.
Thank you.
So
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion.
Moved.
Nancy and Don seconds.
okay, thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, I'm going to do the town appointments, but I'm going to do them all together in one resolution. So we will be starting with Deputy Supervisor Neil McGovern, Budget Officer Betsy Bain, Attorney for Town Young and Sommer, Historian Aaron Weaver, Official Bank NBT, Health Insurance Representative will be Debbie O'Rourke, Justice Court Clerk Deborah O'Rourke, Deputy Court Clerk Faith Cleveland, Deputy Town Clerk Faith Cleveland, Animal Control Officer Mike Peck, Deputy Animal Control Officer Laura Peck, Register Vital Statistics and Handicap Permit Issuer Deborah O'Rourke, Purchasing Agent Betsy Bain, Youth Rec Director Samantha DeRocha, Parks and Recreation Foreman Randolph Lavarnway, Refuse and Recyclable Foreman Randolph Lavarnway, Zones and Code Enforcement Officer Robert Bankovich. The official newspaper, Hamilton County Express. Looking for a motion offered by
Christine?
Chris, okay, and seconded? Second?
Second.
Neil?
Neil. Okay.
So I have all the oaths of offices that people will have to sign. I'll mail them out, or if anybody's stopping by, I'll hand them out to you also.
Okay. So you took care of that, okay? Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next resolution is the authorization for Superintendent of Highways to make purchases of tools, etc., at a cost not to exceed $2,999, and to buy oil, tires, salt at state contract pricing. Looking for a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Don, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next resolution is to set the mileage rate for reimbursement at 56 cents a mile. A motion? I'll move. A second?
Second.
Second by Neil. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next resolution, Town of Lake Pleasant to adopt a holiday schedule as established by Hamilton County on file. And we do have that, I think everybody got a copy of that from Debbie. So I'm looking for a motion to accept that. All in favor?
Aye.
Chris?
Any opposed?
Did I get
Actually,
it?
I missed the motions.
Yeah, we didn't have.
So Chris offered, and then I didn't get a second.
Who got the second?
I'll second.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay, now all in favor?
Alright.
Okay, any opposed? Okay. Next resolution, that regularly scheduled town board meetings will be held at the Lake Pleasant Public Library at 2864 Route 8, Speculator, New York, at 5:30 p.m., which that we will be revisiting on March 15th, on the first and third Monday of each month, or as otherwise published and/or posted. There will not be a meeting on a Monday holiday. This is offered by motion.
Do we want to put in something like, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
are we up for
Second.
discussion yet?
Second by Don.
Second by Don.
Well, not really, but I will.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, okay, I'll take you off then, sorry.
No, I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, discussion?
The only question I have is, do we want to put something in, until the governor lists his executive order regarding municipal meetings and COVID, that we'll be meeting by Zoom? Do we want to put something like that in, or would you want to just leave it, or as otherwise published and posted covers it?
I think publish and posts it, and cover it. Does everybody else agree? I don't want to overlook it.
Yeah, I agree. One thing, we need to check those town website, because it's still listing as 7 o'clock as of,
I changed it today, Don, after I
Oh,
saw
did you?
the message.
okay.
Yeah. I
Thank you.
appreciate it when something like that.
We lost you on that, Chris. What'd you say?
I appreciate it when somebody lets me know there's a mistake on the website.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good call on Don when I saw it, and then I did see that it was switched to 5:34 tonight regarding Facebook, but yeah, we need to have that on the
Yep.
electronic.
Okay. Next resolution, town clerk, tax
I vote.
collectors. I'm sorry?
We didn't vote on that, did we?
Oh, I apologize. I got mixed up here now because we got into the discussion. So it was actually, we had a motion, right?
Motion second and discussion.
Yeah. Okay, so all
We need
in
to vote.
favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The next resolution, town clerk, tax collector's office hours will be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Looking for a motion?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next resolution is the appointment to Board of Assessment Review, Arthur Stokes, from 10/1 of 2020 to 9/30 of 22. Looking for a motion to accept Art.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Okay. On that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
How long, was that term again, Betsy?
Oh, let me go back. It was 10/1 of 20 to 9/30 of 22.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay. Next resolution is an appointment to the ZBA, which is Kevin O'Brien, and his term would be January 1st of 21 to December 31st of 25. I'm looking for a motion to accept his appointment or reappointment. A second?
Second.
Don, okay. Any discussion?
God bless him.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, next is a resolution to approve the audit and abstract of December 30th, which was the end of the year for 2020, and also January 4th of 21. which, I know you haven't gotten in there yet to look at it. Does someone want to
Right.
move that? I'll move. Nancy, a second?
I'll second.
Don? Okay? Okay, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Betsy, I'll abstain.
Okay?
I, of course, signed the end of year ones, but I'll abstain,
Yep,
having not seen the others.
okay. Good point, okay. Okay, so our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 19th at 5:30, and at this time, I believe it will be Zoom, but if things change for us, you'll all certainly know. And then I would like to go ahead and get into roundtable. So let's start with, say, Neil.
Okay, I had a lengthy conversation today with Mark Doniker from the village in answer to an email that I had sent just before the holiday. I apologize. I thought this might have reached everyone, but I realized it may just be the village folks and you, Betsy. Anyone else get an email from me regarding this?
No.
The septic committee? I'm just, it just says, Paul, after reporting on both the initial meeting of the joint town-village septic committee and the subsequent emails, the town board has decided to slow down this process for a town law until more input can be gathered. While Mark's research has appreciated the impact on any new regulations would be felt mostly in the town outside the village, and it is still unclear, if the inspector's duties would require additional staff and costs. The village is, of course, empowered to create their own laws. Our suggestion is to craft one single townwide law in the future. In the meantime, the land use enforcement officer is able to keep an eye on abuse of county public health law number 1, and citizens are always able to contact the APA, DOH, and DEC with any concerns, respectfully. As I said, we had a good, frank discussion earlier today with Mark, and at some point, the two of us, and maybe more, will try to put together heads together for a meeting that might include some input from our community. I did point out to him that right now, I don't know of any grave indiscretions being done, but I also share his and the mayor's concerns about the change of properties and making sure that older, more susceptible septics near our major water bodies be inspected. So a lot of ground to cover, I think, before we get to a town law, and I will appreciate any and all input over these next several months.
Neil, can you send me a copy of that? Or Betsy, do you have it?
Please.
I have it.
Okay,
I have it on my desk there.
okay.
Do we have a full copy of the county law
Well,
without pieces missing?
I was trying to point out to Mark today. He may have thought that I was saying that he had sent me something wrong. What we were pointing out was that there was just some typos in the county law regarding numbers of things. What was number 7? What was number 8? At least that's what I saw. I will leave, the paper copies in the office for all to see. It's lengthy, but the county law is a good first swipe at this from 1976. It's just fairly generic, but I'll make sure that you get a copy of what I have.
Well, yeah, I have a copy, but there's pieces missing from it. And before we make any big decisions, I'd like to have the whole thing.
Well,
And
one of the parts of
And then the county law seems pretty inclusive on everything, but it looks to me like the problem with it is enforcement.
that I believe to be the case too, Don. It certainly could be shored up in a more, as I say, a townwide swipe at this. But before we got to that, my suggestion to Mark today was that we contact county, that we speak to the soil and water, and see if there's not a way we can be more proactive on inspection, etc. Because, you know, the alternatives are a big cost to us or a higher burden on our land use officers. It's still going to come down to education to those folks who actually do this work. Randy probably puts them in, and certainly a lot of our other contractors do. But we have to make sure that they're being inspected by someone who's certified. But all of this, I think, starts at county.
Yeah, and again, I'll just say that it's not the new ones that we worry about really, because they all need to be engineered. It's the older ones. And there used to be a testing going on, dye testing and everything, other things done by the county. Specifically, I think it was soil and water. And that seemed to have gone by the wayside.
Well, Mark did some, you know, good work on this, looking into it. That it turns out that while the county in 1976 or thereafter, after passing this law, felt they had assigned this work to soil and water, but there's no record that soil and water has ever really taken that mantle or even got that communication. For a while, Florence had a title that she was taking care of, I'm sure, while she may be working for the village or other things.
I'm pretty sure that was under the auspices of the county, soil and water.
Okay, all right. So, but once Florence retired, it didn't appear, according to Doniger's, research, that anyone was reassigned to this project.
Right.
And we have obviously many water bodies in the town, but a few of them are important feeders, right? I mean, obviously,
yes, they are. Any kind of swamp, any kind of water body. But it also, I think, gives permission for the towns to enforce the law too. So maybe we could work something together with the county and the different towns to do that, rather than having doing double work.
That's exactly right.
I think the whole thing needs to be redone over, because
it's an old law, and some of the stuff, particularly as you say, some of the old camps that are small, and the answer to it, as Bob puts out, the answer to it is, well, we've never had a problem with it. Well, you're not looking for one, you may not find one either,
Yeah.
So. But yes, I'll be making a trip up there to see if I can't start that ball rolling and talk to Betsy about it. Soil and water certainly has a lot on their plate, but it seems to me we need to have at least somebody who's enforcing the county law. It's certainly not something the sheriff would do,
Well, I just want to mention that I was told today that you can actually just go on the county website and you can download that county law.
The law, yeah, it's there.
So if anybody wants to do it on their own, so you have it, there you go.
okay.
Okay. Are you done, Neil?
That's all I have on that matter. I'm sorry, Chris was speaking.
There was something, 3 different versions, or were the changes so minor that it didn't matter, Neil?
What happened was, in Mark's research sent to me and others, I suppose, maybe to Bob or the mayor, they came through where it appeared one was a digital thing, one was a copy of a copy, but there were little differences that led to really a conversation about that really was not germane. All we need is to know that we do have a county law. It's on the books. It's on the county website. And we can perhaps augment it, and maybe should. But I think we should have a full understanding not just of the county law, but who should be enforcing it. And if there isn't a time frame here for us to be educating our contractors, our realtors, folks that that are in the exchange of properties, it's a fertile place to start, is when a property changes hands. I'll bring more back to you. I think we'll have the proper amount of time here now.
Okay. Did you want to report on the polar plunge, Neil?
Yeah. I think it was a dozen of us, stout, crazy, whatever. Good time had by all. About 24 folks there to revel and let's just say wash off 2020 and bring in 2021. Those of us who enjoy it will continue to do it. There is no necessary sponsor nor any rules or regulations. Everyone watches out for each other. We were safely distanced and masked right up till it went in the water. $178 was raised in a coin toss there for Wounded Warriors, and that was mailed out today. A little less than usual, but a lot less pre-work and a few less cans around before. And if you wait till it happens right there, it's a little cold for folks. But very often those folks who come down to watch others make fools of themselves are the most generous, and for that, always thank you. We have in the past, when there was more than that, split it between them and the Adirondack Association of Veterans, the old VFW. But all went, as I said, to the Wounded Warriors this afternoon. Good time.
Okay.
And as usual, thank you to Timberline Cafe. Always puts the all are invited back there for free chocolate, which was quite a effort this year since they weren't open. But they went there and made their hot chocolate, and 20 or so people took advantage of that, coming in and going, and wishing us a healthier new year.
Okay. Don, do you have anything for Roundtable?
Yeah, I got one thing for Randy, just a little question. With the New York State salt initiative passed by the legislature now, is the state doing anything different?
No.
I know the town uses a minimal amount of town roads, but
No, that initiative is basically assigned a task force, so they're going to spend the next 3 years figuring out what they can and can't do and figure out better ways and so on. The state of New York plow trucks in Indian Lake have a new finagled cutting edge behind the nose plow that has, I don't know, 300-400 little knife blades that independently push down and try to get into all the crevices to pull the snow out of them. So rather than repairing their roads and making them a nice smooth surface and not doing all this striping of blacktop every year, they decided to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a test dummy truck to try to scrape the snow off, which, from what I'm hearing through the rumor mill, the first attempt destroyed the roads because that peeled all the blacktop that they put on off. All the little patches. And this one seems to work better, but they are kind of being awful quiet about yes or yay or nay at this point. We went to our meeting in November, and I saw it sitting there and asked a lot of questions and didn't get a lot of answers back because it was brand new to them at that point, and still to this date we haven't heard much about it. They did go to green salt, which is the mixed salt blended. It's supposed to work colder temperatures so that you don't have to put so much down, but they're running 24 hours a day non-stop on every storm. So at the end of the storm, how many tons of salt did they put out compared to how many tons we put out, storm to storm, and how much diesel fuel they spent, and so on and so forth. I'd love to see the numbers at the end of the 3 years.
Man hours in the trucks.
Well, not only man hours, but just the wear and tear, and the tonnage of salt at the end of the day, for the end of the storm. They're only measuring it per lane mile. Oh, we're putting down 160, you're putting down 200, whatever. Yeah, but you're putting down 160 for 24 hours a day to get the snow off.
Randy, you answered my question because we followed a green salt truck going down to Gloversville, I guess it was, and amazing amount of green salt.
Yeah, and it's slimy because of the liquid that they have in it. So everybody complains of the slush afterwards because that slush holds the salt, and now it's slopping up onto your car. It's different. I don't know if it's going to work or not. And in 3 years, they're going to come back and have this great initiative and say what they came up with and how they're going to try to protect the Adirondacks. And like I've said before, and Neil's talked about it, the first thing they need to do is hire a couple logging companies and open up these roads.
Open the canopy.
Yep.
Yeah, open up the canopy and let Mother Nature melt these roads faster than we could even think about it.
Randy, question on the green salt. Is there any, I know there's been lots of talk, is there any application yet of any liquid?
Yeah, they spray
On
liquid.
our roads?
Not on our roads, no.
I know they do it elsewhere. They're talking about everything from beet juice to, a liquid.
Right, the state trucks that have that green on them are also spraying liquid right at the spinner. So as the salt hits the ground, it's getting soaked with this liquid calcium. And then plus the green that's in the salt already mixed and blended.
Yep.
So it's way more expensive for the salt because it's already blended. And then they have to buy everything to outfit the truck. Then they pump even more liquid into it, and that allows them to do the pre-salting, as everybody hears.
That's the stuff they do in the throughways and the big arteries,
Correct.
right?
They're going out ahead of every storm, 8 to 10 hours and soaking the road down, trying to warm the road temperature up, and then put the green salt in.
Is that what they were doing? I don't know, maybe you don't know, but we took a ride, we go over that way quite a bit. Route 8 from Johnsburg to Warrensburg. There was a state truck before snow was almost even thought about, spraying the road surface with, looked like 5 stripes each lane of something.
Yep. That's getting it ready for pre-salting. They spray this liquid down onto it, and then when the salt goes onto it, it sticks to the road, supposedly.
Oh.
That's one of the processes now. So they're going to start laying that down, and you'll see that a lot more, which is kind of funny to me, but maybe I don't have all the information. But you're going to see that near any of the waterways, any rivers, streams, and all that, because they don't want the salt bouncing into the rivers.
Right, so they'll probably be doing that here with the next.
Right, so they're
For
putting.
now, you're doing it in the next zone over, right? Warren County is the next zone.
Yeah.
We're in the.
Well, they're doing it in Indian Lake.
Oh, they are, okay.
Yeah, the trucks in Indian Lake, these super trucks are set up for it. So, I'm not 100% sure if the Wells truck is, but I know the Indian Lakes trucks are.
Is that the town of Indian Lake?
No, that is the state of New York and Indian Lake.
Okay.
So
That would be
nothing has transpired down to the subcontractors and such. It's all state of New York at this point.
the state power that we meet at our northern terminus
Yep.
is not the town of Indian Lake, it's a state truck, isn't it?
Correct. That is a state truck with green salt and applicators. Also south of us is state.
And Wells.
They come up from Wells. So,
Randy, while you're on, do you have anything for Roundtable?
nope. I said my piece.
Thank you,
Don, are you done?
Yes, I am, Betsy.
You're done, okay.
I'm done.
The only thing I have to say is that I still haven't heard anything about our audit from BST. And while we were discussing happily that the CHIPS money came in at the end of the year, as it always does, it dawned on me that, I heard from them around just after Thanksgiving, and they said in another week or so,
and here we are in the new year and still nothing. I will get in touch with them tomorrow.
You will, okay.
Yes.
Okay, okay, so I won't. Okay. Good luck, because that's crazy.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have anything else? Nancy?
No.
Nothing else? Okay, Debbie?
I just want to bring everybody up to date on what's going on with the tax bills. If you, for those of you who have received them, they were mailed out through Albany, through the county. So some of you might not have gotten them, some of you have gotten them. There is a quote up on top. Each town tax collector has made different notes on it. I will not be receiving tax bills in person because of COVID. It says it right on the tax bill. I do not take cash, and I will not be accepting it in person by checks or by Dropbox, which is outside my door. I do have Post-its on my doors also, just letting people know. Today, of course, I did have some regulars come in with cash and whatever. I met them outside the door. And of course, had rubber gloves and took what I could. So I'm going to do the best I can to try and keep the public out of my office and out of the building, and using the Dropbox or mailing checks in. So I just want to let you know that if anybody gets their bills and reads them, that's what it says on them.
I don't have to pay
Hey, why would
taxes.
anybody bring you cash? You don't give any cash discount.
Neil, I have no words for you on that, but I do get a lot of cash. So I will watch them, drop it in the Dropbox, and then go out and grab it. I mean, I'm in my office every day from 9 to 4, and I'll be seeing people come up the walkway. And if they look lost or floundered, I have to explain to them that I'll do the best I can. But there are no tax collectors taking any money in person. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Chris,
No,
you don't have anything?
no, I don't.
Okay. I have a couple of things. I know I always do. I just want to let everybody know that about a week or so ago, I was up at the county building and we got talking about the consolidated health. And Jody said, well, who's doing your AUD? And I kind of looked at her because we never thought of that. Them up there or us in our office. So the county is going to be doing the AUD for the consolidated health. I've given Beth and Jody the information that they needed to get it going. I went up and we contacted the comptroller's office to put them on so that they could be going in to the site and filling in all the information. So Jody is now on there as well as myself. So that will be completed by the county. The next thing is the chamber contract has been signed and it's back in our office and filed. It's done. The seniors meal site contract is, they are waiting for their next meeting, which will be January 12th. So that they're hoping that they'll sign it then and then they'll get it back and we'll get that filed. I mailed the Office of the Aging grant paperwork back on December 31st. That is for the reimbursement for the bus trips. So we'll be waiting to hear from that. I was waiting because we hadn't gotten the canceled check for the last payment to Brown Bus, and we finally got that, so that's taken care of. And then I have a couple of other things that are good news. First, the Adirondack Bible Chapel, to the Town of Lake Pleasant Supervisor, on behalf of the pastors and deacons of Adirondack Bible Chapel, I have enclosed a donation of $250 in appreciation for the landfill services provided by the Town of Lake Pleasant. We frequently use the landfill services and greatly appreciate the friendly and courteous help from your staff. Sincerely, Larry Corkins from the Adirondack Bible Chapel. That was one. That was very nice. And the next, we received a check from PERMA. Enclosed is a check for your share of PERMA's board-approved one-time excess surplus refund. The refund amount is based on a formula developed by PERMA's underwriting department that factors each member's tenure, program engagement, annual contribution, and members' equity. Just to make a mention that the more classes that we take on PERMA, that all gets credited to us, and therefore we got a nice rebate check from them, refund check for $1,610. So that was a nice surprise. So I just wanted to mention that. Anybody have anything else?
I just want to mention something, an observation I made to Randy. The snowmobile trail through the trailer park. It's not open now anyway, because there's no way to access it, but that's all been plowed up.
Plowed up.
Plowed. National Grid is in there, and somebody plowed the whole thing.
Perfect. Okay, when do they expect to be out of there?
I didn't talk to anybody, I just observed.
Okay.
I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, I will inquire.
So,
We
Randy, I
love
think
it when
what Don's
plow
saying is
trucks are on trail.
we need cold and snow. Do you wanna see what you can do about that?
Yeah. My crystal ball will, take care of that.
Okay, everyone, so Happy New Year, and, stay safe and don't get COVID, and, we'll talk to you all soon.
Alright, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Thank you, Don. Who seconds it?
Second.
Chris seconded, okay. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.